morning. I'm going to discuss about the arthritis imaging. I'm Dr. Pradeep Samaravira, acting consultant radiologist. What is arthritis? Arthritis is joint inflammation that cause pain and swelling and stiffness of the joint. What is the role of radiology? Radiological imaging is central to the diagnosis and management of arthritis. X-ray remains the first line investigation. MRI and ultrasound detect early inflammatory changes before irreversible damage develop. CT and dual energy CT provide detailed assessment of bone and crystal arthropathies. Radiological finding combined with clinical and laboratory data lead to accurate diagnosis and optimal management. This flow diagram demonstrates a systemic approach of arthritis. We can broadly divide arthritis into degenerative and inflammatory arthritis. Joint space narrowing with asymmetrical joint space narrowing with osteophyte formation and subchondral sclerosis are the features of degenerative arthritis. Inflammatory arthritis has symmetrical joint space narrowing, bone erosions, and soft tissue swelling. Degenerative osteoarthritis further can be divided into two parts. It's a typical degenerative osteoarthritis and atypical one. Atypical osteoarthritis is unusual distribution and severity and age. Is the cause for the atypical osteoarthritis. Inflammatory arthritis further divide into two parts depending on the number of joint involvement. If it is involving monoarthritis, the one joint, most likely it is septic arthritis. This is the checklist we use to diagnose arthritis. It is categorized as A, B, C, D, E, and S like. A mean articular surface. Articular surface has erosion. We need to know erosions, where erosion is located, whether it is central erosion or marginal erosion or just articular erosion. The B mean bony changes. It is divided into two. Bony changes can be divided into two parts. One is productive changes. Other one is diminished bone changes, diminished bone density. Productive bone changes include osteophyte formation, subchondral sclerosis, enthesiophyte formation, syndesmophyte, and chondrocalcinosis. Diminished bone density includes osteoporosis, osteolysis, and subchondral cyst formation. Then C mean cartilage. Cartilage mean joint space narrowing, whether it is symmetrical joint space narrowing or asymmetrical joint space narrowing. Other important factor is distribution. That means D, whether it is symmetrical distribution or asymmetrical distribution, proximal versus distal distribution, and whether it is monoarticular or polyarticular distribution. The E mean extra finding that include demographic data like age and sex, and systemic symptoms and laboratory data. Laboratory data like CRP, ESR, and ESR. So then S means soft tissue changes. Soft tissue changes is soft tissue swelling, deformities, and nodule masses, and crystal depositions. This is a pictorial demonstration of the articular erosions. In this image, it demonstrates the normal synovial joint, which has cartilaginous articular surfaces, and in this area there's no cartilaginous coverage. That area is called bare area. In rheumatoid arthritis, there's marginal erosions are there. Marginal erosions occur at the bare area. In the erosive osteoarthritis, the erosions are centrally located. In the centrally located and distally, there's a bony forming like osteophyte formation. In the psoriatic arthritis, there's a marginal erosion plus distal bone formation. Gout is a special type of arthritis which has just articular erosions due to periarticular tropes. This is the X-ray appearance of the erosions, bone erosion. As I mentioned earlier, the marginal erosions are seen in the rheumatoid arthritis. This is a case of erosive osteoarthritis, which has central erosions with a distal articular surface osteophyte formation, giving rise to seagull appearance. This is a case of gout, which has articular large erosions with sclerotic margin and overhanging edges. This is a case of septic arthritis, which demonstrate advanced joint damage with evidence of extensive periarticular soft tissue edema. In the psoriatic arthritis, there's a special appearance that is called pencil in cup appearance. Proximal articular surface has erosions and which has a tapering end, and distal articular surface has bony formation, giving rise to cup appearance. This is a last image demonstrate the scleroderma, which has there's evidence of actosteolysis with soft tissue calcification. As I mentioned earlier, there are several types of bony formation, and those are seen in specific condition of specific arthritis. Osteophyte are seen in the osteoarthritis as well as CPPD, that means calcium pyrophosphate deposition disease. Those appear as a marginal bony spur. Then plateoperiosteitis, that is seen in the psoriatic arthritis. Psoriatic arthritis, there's a irregular periosteal newborn formation. Then spondylophytes are seen in the degenerative spondylolysis. Those are horizontally located. The syndesmophytes are seen in ankylosing spondylitis. Those are vertically oriented. And dysossification, that means diffuse idiopathic skeletal hyperostosis, that is due to anterior longitudinal ligament ossification. These are the type of bony formations. In osteoarthritis and CPPD demonstrate the osteophyte formation. In this picture, in psoriatic arthritis, there's a fluffy periosteal reaction. In spondylophytes are the horizontally orientated ossifications. Syndesmophytes are calcification of the anterior longitudinal ligament and annulus fibrosis. This is a case of Dishn, which has horizontally oriented osteophytes. Then come to the bone density. Bone density changes as osteopenia or osteosclerosis. Periarticular osteopenia is seen in rheumatoid arthritis. This come to the checklist C, seeming cartilage. There are two types of cartilaginous destruction, that is asymmetrical cartilaginous destruction and symmetrical cartilaginous destruction. because of the asymmetrical cartilage destruction, joint space is narrowed asymmetrically. In the first picture, there's evidence of asymmetrical joint space narrowing. In the symmetrical joint space narrowing, there's a loss of cartilage symmetrically. In inflammatory conditions, symmetrical joint space narrowing is appear. The cause for the symmetrical cartilage destruction is due to diffuse synovitis. Asymmetrical joint space narrowing is due to uneven mechanical load. Next important factor is distribution. As I mentioned earlier, the specific diseases has the specific distribution. For example, osteoarthritis the commonly involve the metacarpophalangeal joint and distal interphalangeal joint. And rheumatoid arthritis usually involve carpal bone, metacarpophalangeal joint, and proximal interphalangeal joint. Psoriatic arthritis predominantly involve proximal interphalangeal joint and distal interphalangeal joint. In the checklist, E is the extra findings. Extra findings are laboratory tests. Rheumatic factor and anti-CCP support the rheumatoid arthritis. HLA-B27 support the ankylosing spondylitis. ESR and CRP are non-specific factors, but it is seen in inflammatory arthritis. Soft tissue changes. Soft tissue changes, there are several kinds of soft tissue changes. Contocalcinosis. Contocalcinosis is seen in CTPD. And radiopap nodules near to the first metatarsophalangeal joint, which is typical for gout. Fusiform swelling, that is dactylitis, and or sausage fin disease, it's usually seen in psoriasis. And cause subcutaneous calcification, it is seen in scleroderma. Herbrand's nodule is seen in osteophyte-related nodules in osteoarthritis. Rheumatoid nodules are seen in rheumatoid arthritis. This is in the first and second picture. You can see the contocalcinosis in the radiocarpal joint and triangular fibrocartilaginous complex, and in the knee, there's a contocalcinosis in the meniscus. In the third picture, demonstrate the case of gout, which has a dense soft tissue nodule. In the psoriatic arthritis, there's a sausage-shaped finger with penicillin cup appearance. This is a case of scleroderma, which has a subcutaneous post calcification. This is a Herbrand nodule seen in osteoarthritis. In rheumatoid arthritis, there are soft tissue nodules. Osteoarthritis. Then osteoarthritis, the most common disease. It is more common in with the age. It is non-inflammatory degenerative disease. It can be primary or secondary. As I mentioned earlier, the radiological features include asymmetrical joint space narrowing, osteophyte formation, subchondral sclerosis, and subchondral cyst. There's no erosions or periarticular osteopenia. This distribution is predominantly affecting the weight-bearing joints. These are cases of osteoarthritis. You can see the subchondral sclerosis and asymmetrical joint space narrowing. In the third picture, there's a subchondral cyst formation. Then come to the rheumatoid arthritis. It is typically, usually onset is at the fourth and fifth decade. Rheumatic factor and anti-CCP are often positive. It may involve lung, skin, eye and heart. Radiological features include symmetrical joint space narrowing with marginal erosion. There's a periarticular osteopenia, and there's no bone proliferation in the active stage, but later stage when the joint space, the secondary osteoarthritis form, then there may be bone proliferation. Distribution is predominantly affecting the carpal bone, metacarpophalangeal joint, proximal and proximal interphalangeal joint. So soft tissue changes include fusiform soft tissue swelling, rheumatoid nodules, and joint deformities. These are cases of rheumatoid arthritis which demonstrate marginal erosion. In the second upper picture demonstrate bilateral symmetrical involvement of the small joint of hand. In the elbow radiograph, there's a soft tissue nodules. In addition to in advanced rheumatoid arthritis, the cervicothoracic junction and atlantoaxial joint also involved. And bacillar invagination and atlantoaxial subluxation can be seen in advanced rheumatoid arthritis. Juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, there are some features overlap between rheumatoid arthritis and juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. But the juvenile rheumatoid arthritis onset is before 16 years of age, usually affect larger joint. The radiological features in early disease, there is a periarticular osteopenia, bone edema, periosteal reaction, and growth plate abnormalities can be seen in like the epiphyseal plate overgrowth and premature fusion of growth plate. In the late stage, uniform cartilage loss and erosions. Distribution, predominantly larger joints are involved. Extra-articular manifestations include uveitis, still disease, tendinitis, and bursitis. These are cases of juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Typical ankylosis of carpal bones and periarticular osteopenia are seen in these images. In addition to that, there are multiple erosions and diffuse joint space narrowing are seen. Erosive osteoarthritis. Erosive osteoarthritis is an inflammatory form of arthritis, mainly affecting the hand. It is usually occur in postmenopausal women. It affects distal interphalangeal joint and proximal interphalangeal joint, along with first carpometacarpal joint. It has both degenerative and inflammatory changes. Radiological features include joint space narrowing, central subchondral erosion, osteophyte formation, and subchondral sclerosis. In advanced disease, there's ankylosis of the joint. Characteristic seagull appearance is also seen. These are the cases of erosive osteoarthritis, which demonstrate erosive change in the picture A demonstrate erosive changes of proximal interphalangeal joint from second to fifth and distal interphalangeal joint. The circle image demonstrate the seagull appearance. In this ball catcher view demonstrate bilateral symmetrical involvement, but just the metacarpophalangeal joints are spared in these images. So rheumatoid arthritis need to be considered in differential diagnosis. Septic arthritis. Septic arthritis is the acute monoarthritis causing rapid joint destruction. The causes for septic arthritis is due to bacteremia. It may be due to local spread of infection or complication of surgery or injection. This need require urgent joint aspiration and drainage. The common clinical symptoms include fever, pain, warmth, erythema, and swelling. Radiological features include joint effusion. There may be some gas lucencies, synovial thickening, and erosion. In the bone, there are daksha articular osteopenia and bone marrow edema in the early stage. But later stage, there's erosions and joint space narrowing. At the end stage of the septic arthritis, ankylosis and sclerosis are features. In this radiograph, the initially patient presented with calcific tendinitis. For the treatment, the patient was given some injection. Then later, patient developed septic arthritis and with the septic arthritis with erosions and ankylosing of the joint as well. This is a case of septic arthritis of the proximal interphalangeal joint of middle finger with enormous soft tissue swelling. Extensive erosions of the joint with some small bony fragmentations are seen. Then come to the spondyloarthritis. Spondyloarthritis can be divided into two parts, predominantly axial involvement and predominantly the two categories are predominantly axial involvement and predominantly peripheral joint involvement. Predominantly axial involvement include ankylosing spondylitis. The peripheral spondyloarthritis include psoriatic arthritis, reactive arthritis, and inflammatory bowel disease associated arthritis. Then come to the ankylosing spondylitis. The clinically the axial arthropathy cause chronic back pain, morning stiffness more than 30 minutes, and reduced mobility. The typical onset is third and fourth decade. Primarily affected the spine and the sacroiliac joint. Can involve shoulder, hips, ribs, and feet. Radiological features include bilateral symmetrical sacroiliitis. In addition to that, enthesitis associated with bone marrow edema, shiny corners of the vertebral bodies. Then syndesmophyte formation and bamboo spine formation are also features of ankylosing spondylitis. These are few images of ankylosing spondylitis. These images demonstrate shiny corners of the breast picture, and there's a vertebral body scarring, and in the MRI images which demonstrate marrow edema at the vertebral corners. This is a bamboo spine, and the last two images demonstrate the Drager spine because of calcification of the interspinous ligaments. Then come to the psoriatic arthritis. It is distal asymmetrical arthritis with erosion and newborn formation. Commonly affect hand and feet. Can involve spine and sacroiliac joint. If sacroiliac joint involved, it is bilateral asymmetrical. Radiological features include marginal erosion, penicillin cup deformity, acrosteolysis, periostitis, and joint space narrowing. And at the end of the disease, joint may ankylose to ankylose. There are five subtypes of psoriatic arthritis. Distal, that is distal interphalangeal arthritis of the hand and feet. Asymmetric mono oligoarthritis, symmetric polyarthritis, which is similar to the rheumatoid arthritis. Then spinal column involvement and arthritis mutilans. These are the images of psoriatic arthritis, reactive psoriatic arthritis. The upper image demonstrates the sausage finger. This press finger is the sausage finger with the penicillin cup appearance. In the down image, there's a penicillin cup deformity with acrosteolysis. Then come to reactive arthritis. It is reactive arthritis is the sterile arthritis. Usually after the following the genitourinary or gastrointestinal infection. It has a classic triad, that is conjunctivitis, urethritis, and arthritis. The reactive arthritis causes asymmetrical joint involvement, often affecting the limbs. X-ray features include ill-defined erosions, newborn formation, enthesitis, juxta-articular osteoporosis, and uniform joint space narrowing. These are the images of reactive arthritis. You can see there's some erosions. There's a small lytic area at the first phalange of the left toe, big toe. Without history, we cannot diagnose reactive arthritis. Then come to the idiopathic skeletal hyperostosis. Key features include bulky flowing osteophyte, which affect the more than 4 vertebral bodies continuously. Usually, it's seen in the lower thoracic and upper lumbar level. Usually seen on the right side. The left side, because of the cardiac pulsation, we cannot see the bony changes. Clinically, it is usually asymptomatic and affect the elderly people. X-ray features include ossification of the anterior longitudinal ligament and preserved intervertebral disc height. There's no erosions. Distribution predominantly affect the spine. Typically, sacroiliac joints are spared. In this condition, there's a high risk for severe spinal fracture after minor trauma. This is a Bambo spine versus adhesion. In ankylosing spondylitis, you can see the syndesmoid formation. That is due to anterior longitudinal ligament and annulus fibrosis calcification. In these osteophytes are horizontally located. Gout is due to deposition of monosodium urate crystal in the joint and soft tissues. Typically affect the metatarsophalangeal joint, that is called podagra. Usually affect peripheral joint asymmetrically. Key features include punch-out erosion with overhanging edges. The joint spaces are preserved until the late stage of the disease. The bone density is normally it is preserved. Hallmark is the trophy that is causing eccentric soft tissue swelling. It usually seen around the olecranon and prepatellar region and joints. These are images of gout. You can see dense soft tissue swelling with overhanging erosions. In dual energy CT is a non-invasive technique to detect urate crystal deposits. It uses two different X-ray energy levels to correctly identify urate crystals. In this image, you can see the urate crystal in green color. The next come to the CPPD, that is calcium pyrophosphate deficiency disease. It is an inflammatory joint disease caused by deficiency of CPPD in the synovial fluid, synovial lining, and articular cartilage. Radiological features include there's no erosion, there's a subchondral cyst formation, and joint space narrowing. The distribution is usually symmetrical. In addition to that, there are the soft tissue changes like chondrocalcinosis. These are cases of CPPD disease. You can see the chondrocalcinosis in the TFCC cartilage complex and the meniscus. In addition to that, there's a bone forming osteophytes are seen. Then come to the scleroderma. Scleroderma is an autoimmune connective tissue disease. Arthritis is seen in only 65% of the patient with scleroderma. There are limited and multi-system variants. Scleroderma, the radiological features include soft tissue calcification, acrosteolysis, bone erosions, and joint space narrowing. These are cases of scleroderma bone involvement. There's a cause subcutaneous calcification and acrosteolysis. Then come to the SLE. It is similar to the rheumatoid arthritis, but there's no bone erosion. Usually, there's an abnormal bone alignment with evidence of avascular necrosis. In addition to that, periarticular osteopenia can be seen. The joint involvement is symmetrical. These are the cases of SLE arthropathy with iset thumb. And just in the right hand picture demonstrate necrosis of the avascular necrosis. Then come to the hemophilic arthropathy. It is a X-linked recessive disorder, almost exclusively seen in male patient. Recurrent hemarthrosis lead to synovial hyperplasia, chronic inflammation, fibrosis, and hemosiderosis. It is usually monoarticular, but it can be oligoarticular. Radiological features include erosions and eventually joint destruction. There's subchondral bone cyst formation, osteoporosis, and ankylosis in the later stage. It is there's a joint space narrowing with destruction in the late stage. Distribution is usually affect the larger joints. In addition to that, there's growth abnormalities. Soft tissue changes include soft tissue serine. These are cases of hemophilic arthropathy with evidence of enlargement of the epiphysis, and there are some erosions in the articular surface. Periarticular osteopenia is also seen.